we're going to record. Okay, so we are now recording. Let's start the slides here. There we go. Okay, ladies. All right, if you've got any background noise, ladies, I'd ask you to mute. Otherwise, we're good to go. Feel free to interrupt me if you have any questions, and we'll go ahead and get started. So today is our fourth class in our series. So we are almost halfway at this point. This is oils for every age. And as we go through this class is typically a little bit shorter than our other ones. It's not quite as content heavy, but it's kind of a good overview, especially for anybody new starting out, just to understand that we can be safely using our essential oils across all age groups. So through every season of life, we can be using these essential oils as long as we know how to do it properly. So we're going to talk for a bit about dilution tonight. We're going to talk about sort of each of the seasons of life, and we'll kind of talk through what oils we can use. And then I invite you at the end to stay on with me. I'm going to share a few quick slides on the joy of sharing oils and just really kind of talk about, you know, why I started to share the oils. I know at the end of every class, I encourage you guys to, you know, use your oils, share your oils, teach others how to use the oils. And, you know, if you are as passionate as I am about these essential oils, you're loving them, you're having them in your home, sharing them is a great way to get them paid for on a monthly basis. So we'll share that as we get towards the end of this. So I invite you to stay on with me at that point. But let's kick into our main topic and the reason why we are here. So oils for every age. So the one thing that I always like to start off with is dilution. So we've talked about this in the majority of our classes. I think we touch base on dilution and why it's so important to dilute our essential oils when we're using them. And so when I talk about diluting our essential oils, I mean adding them or blending them with a carrier oil. The most popular carrier oil with essential oils is fractionated coconut oil. Fractionated coconut oil, if you're not familiar, it's fractionated because the long chain fatty acids have been removed from the coconut oil. So if you've ever bought coconut oil in a tub, it's solid, right? You warm it up, it goes to a liquid, and then it will re-solidify. With fractionated coconut oil, when you purchase it, it's a liquid and it stays in a liquid form. So that's what makes it a really great carrier oil, because we can use it in any of our roller bottles and things like that, because there's no concern about it solidifying. Additional options would be the sweet almond oil, jojoba oil, or olive oil. My personal preference is coconut oil for most applications. I like it because it absorbs really well. Coconut oil is beautiful for your skin and it doesn't leave an oily residue. So that's just my personal preference and why I choose to use fractionated coconut oil. I will use jojoba oil if I'm making skincare products. So if you're looking to do any kind of DIYs, we're going to talk about skincare next week. So we'll talk a little bit about jojoba oil next week. But when we get into dilution and we're talking about diluting our oils, it is important to be adjusting the dilution of your oils based on the age of the individual that's going to be using them. So if you are planning to use your essential oils on a baby, a child under the age of 1 year old, then we want to be using only 1 to 2 drops of essential oil for every tablespoon of carrier oil. Okay, so that would be 1 drop of essential oil and 1 tablespoon of your fractionated coconut oil. Then as we get up to a little bit older for a child, you know, maybe we're talking about 6 years plus, we really want to think about 1 to 2 drops of essential oil and 1 teaspoon of carrier oil. Okay, so again, 1 teaspoon of your fractionated coconut oil. And then 12 years and above, so through adulthood, we would use 1 to 2 drops of essential oil and then probably about 3 drops of your carrier oil. So this is where if you were mixing, this would be a good ratio to consider if you were just mixing the oils in your hand. If you are thinking about making your own roller bottles, a standard roller bottle is 10 ml. So you'll, when you're purchasing your roller bottles from doTERRA, these amber roller bottles, they are a 10 ml bottle. You can on Amazon purchase other sizes. So just make sure when you're taking a look, when you're purchasing them, there's 2 ml, 3 ml, 5 ml. I mean, there's just about everything on Amazon, but you want to adjust the recipe accordingly. every time I share a recipe for a roller bottle, I'm sharing it based on a 10 mil. So just kind of keep that in mind. So again, if we were making a roller bottle for a baby, we would probably be using anywhere between 1 to 6 drops maximum of the essential oil, and then the rest of it would be carrier oil. If I was using anything that would be like considered a hot oil, like a clove or something like that, On Guard, because it has clove and cinnamon in it, I would really reduce that down. My recommendation always is to start with less essential oil. You can always add more essential oils to your blends, but it's hard to take them out, right? So we can always add in more. For a child 1 to 5, anywhere between 6 and 15 drops. 6 to 11 years old, 15 to 30. That would be the same for an adult. I know on this diagram it shows, you know, anywhere between 15 and 40 drops for an adult. 40 is pretty hardcore in my opinion. That's a lot of essential oil going into a single roller bottle. I would really only do that if I was targeting something very specific that I wanted to have a really strong application of it. So I think there's very rare occurrences, in my opinion, where you would be using up to 40 drops. The maximum I typically use is between 25 and 30 if I'm making a roller bottle for myself. And then here, as we get older, the one thing to keep in mind, and I know this diagram makes Audie nuts, so I'm sure she's going to comment here in a second, but the word elderly is on there. I didn't make the diagram. Let's just establish this right now, ladies. I didn't create this diagram. It's just a word. Age is just a state of mind. But at a certain point, we need to be realistic that our skin does begin to thin as we age. And so at a certain point, if you are experiencing that thinning in your skin, or perhaps you're making a roller bottle for a gift for a relative, you want to make sure that you're adjusting that oil dilution down to closer to what you would be doing for a younger child, okay? So really keeping it between that 6 and 15 drops. Any questions about those dilution ratios before we move on? We good? Okay. So the one thing also that I wanted to, that I just wanted to say around dilution, and the reason why we dilute, just to remind everybody, there's a couple of reasons. So the number one reason that we dilute is to minimize sensitivity. So our essential oils with certain skins can be sensitive, right? And we want to make sure that we're protecting our skin. The other reason is that we want to increase the absorption rate. So essential oils are aromatic compounds. They will evaporate in the air. So if I were to take a drop of peppermint straight out of the bottle, apply it to my forehead, my temples, I would get a great immediate response from that menthol and that cooling. But the actual absorption of essential oil into my bloodstream is only about 5%. Whereas if I use it diluted with fractionated coconut oil in a roller bottle, I'm increasing that absorption by about 85%. So it's really significant difference of what the impact of these oils is going to be on you, whether you're using them diluted or neat, which is why I always encourage people to use them diluted. Okay. All right. So let's start. So pregnancy. Pregnancy is a great opportunity for us to be using our essential oils. You know, one recommendation that I always make is just to you know, always take the partnership of your doctor or healthcare professional, right, when you are pregnant, especially if you're going to be introducing anything new. We always want to be careful if we're introducing anything new. So 2 products here that would be recommended during pregnancy: Terrazyme, which we've talked about in the nutrition and supplements class. This is the digestive enzyme to be taken after every meal, just to really continue to support those digestive enzymes. And the beautiful thing about Terrazyme is those digestive enzymes will actually pass through the breast milk. So when a mother is breastfeeding her baby, it will allow the baby to have a more settled tummy. So there's a tip I wish I had had when my boys were little, I can tell you that. So Terrazyme is a great supplement. And then copaiba. So copaiba can continue to be taken during pregnancy. This can be taken twice daily under the tongue. It's a beautiful support to the central nervous system, and it also helps to support and boost milk supply. Other oils that can be used during pregnancy, basil and fennel. So we're getting into some of our more herbaceous oils here, can be applied topically to breasts after nursing to support healthy milk supply. So this is another great option. And then peppermint. However, peppermint should be used very carefully. Some women do note a decrease in their milk supply when using peppermint. So it can be used, but in small amounts. It is often used in pregnancy for nausea, so morning sickness, that sort of thing. And then the other one that's not on the slide that I would suggest during pregnancy is frankincense. It's a beautiful supportive oil and can be used with a carrier oil diluted for stretch marks. So rubbing it right on the belly as that belly continues to grow during pregnancy. And then just a quick snapshot here, some great oils to be using by trimester. So first trimester, copaiba, again, supportive to the central nervous system, great to reduce the feelings of stress and anxiety during that first trimester. Frankincense, emotional balance, immune support. Green mandarin, which we've been talking a lot about this month as it's on promotion, for soothing the stomach and for relieving those feelings of nausea. As we move into that second trimester, yarrow palm for stretching skin, lavender for itching skin. If you ever experience that when you're pregnant, that itching skin. And then third trimester, deep blue for aches and discomfort. Deep blue is a great one. I've heard tremendous feedback from other women who have used deep blue during labor. If they were experiencing back labor, it really helped to support them. And then wild orange for that added energy in that last trimester. And then serenity help with more restful nights. And if you do know anybody who is, pregnant now or considering having a baby and they want to incorporate essential oils, my recommendation is on Instagram. There's an incredible resource. A woman, her tag on Instagram is the Essential Midwife, and she offers amazing, amazing resources and information. If you actually click on the link in her bio, it takes you to a link tree that has just incredible resources. So I recommend her quite often. So then we get into infants and babies. So as we select our essential oils to use with children, one of the ones that can come up quite often is using lavender to support restful sleep. And again, you can be using your fractionated coconut oil with an infant to age 2, but you can also be using something like an unscented lotion. So if you're in the habit and you're using the routine of a massage in the evening to support that restful sleep before bed, just like we love a great, foot massage before bed, right? You can be adding your essential oils to that unscented lotion. Really keep in mind that dilution. Again, we want to make sure that we're only using 1 drop of essential oil for that tablespoon of carrier oil. So kind of keeping that in mind. And then a diffuser. A diffuser is a great way to introduce essential oils to our children. I would recommend no more than 1 to 2 drops of essential oil in a diffuser if it's going to be in a child's bedroom, and always make sure that the door is open so that there is a great circulation of air. And then additionally, we can certainly be using our touch rollers. These were absolutely, the children's collection, which we'll talk about in a second, was absolutely created for kids, so it's perfect. And then our touch rollers are always so convenient because they're already diluted with fractionated coconut oil. So the On Guard Touch, just doing a swipe on the feet, the same as we would do for older children, and then for adults for that healthy immune system. And then using Tamer from the kids collection for any tummy issues. And the one thing that I would say is, as we talk about using oils with our children, and especially with infants and during pregnancy, doTERRA essential oils are the most tested and trusted essential oils on the market. And so it's because we can have that confidence in their purity and their potency that we're comfortable with using them safely with even these youngest members of our family. So then we move on to school-aged kids. And so there's a few products here with school-aged kids. PB Assist, which is our probiotic junior. So this one has 5 billion CFUs, so of those cultures in it. It looks like a little pixie stick or a little sugar stick. We talked about it during the nutrition and supplements class. It's a great one to support that gut health for our children, which we know gut health is so important to immune health. And then the kids vitamin pack, which includes the IQ Mega, which is your omega-6 369 fatty acids, and then your A to Z vitamin supplement. So the vitamin supplement is a chewable. The IQ Mega is a liquid. The recommendation for the liquid is to keep it in the refrigerator. So just keep that in mind. I will tell you from personal experience, Harry, our youngest, used all 3 of these products. He uses the PB Assist on a daily basis. We've moved on now from these vitamins. He did like the chewable vitamin. He hated the IQ Mega, like hated it, did not like the taste of it at all. I tried it. I didn't think it was that bad. He did not care for it in the least. So just full disclosure on that one. And then the On Guard beadlets. The On Guard beadlets are an excellent way to get school-aged kids to take essential oils internally, especially if they're not at an age or they're not comfortable with taking a larger supplement, you know, being able to swallow a pill size or a capsule. The On Guard beadlets are so tiny and they hold about a single drop of essential oil. So it's a great way to really boost their immune system from the inside out. So it's a great internal use of them. And then the kids collection, and I spend a little bit of time here on the kids collection because I do think it is such a beautiful collection of blends to support our children. But the other reason why I talk about this is I believe that the kids collection is not just for children. It is diluted for children, which actually makes it excellent for children as well as those who are older whose skin is beginning to thin. So as we were talking about seniors, we want to make sure that as your skin is thinning, that you're using at a higher dilution level. That's really where the kids collection comes into play. So we can talk a little bit about each of the oils that are in the kids collection. You can note here, the pricing on here is Canadian for any of my American friends, but this is literally like my go-to for anybody who's having a new baby. I would absolutely be giving them this collection. And so there's 7 rollers now. There's only 6 here that are pictured, but there are 7 rollers in this collection. So Stronger is the first one. That is the red roller. And Stronger is a combination of cedarwood, linseed, frankincense, and rose essential oil. And each of these rollers is in a base of fractionated coconut oil. Stronger would be the oil that you would reach for that immune support. Similar to an On Guard, as far as the properties, the oils are different, but those properties would be similar to to what you would be getting from an immune support. Then you get into Braver. Braver is wild orange, amyris, osmanthus, and cinnamon. Has a beautiful scent. Braver is really that oil that you would reach to in those moments where your child maybe is feeling a little bit anxious. I always call it like, it's kind of like the first day of school oil, right? Like, I don't know if anybody's else's kids went back to school today. I know Jess, your girls probably went back to school today. And so, you know, if they were feeling that sense of anxiousness about, you know, they've been away for a while, now they've got to go back to school, there's some new routines happening. Braver would be a great oil to select in order to be able to use that. And you could be using it behind the ears, on any of the pressure points, the wrists, behind the ears, that sort of thing. Then we move into Thinker. Thinker is really all about focus and concentration. Thinker is a blend of vetiver, peppermint, clementine, and rosemary. Some of my favorite oils for focus and concentration. So this is a great one to have in their backpack when they go to school. It's also a great one to have if they're studying at home. So doing any homework, that kind of thing. Tamer is the tummy blend. So this is really the tummy support blend. This includes Digestin, which has spearmint, peppermint, ginger, black pepper, and parsley in it. So again, applied topically right to the tummy. Steady is the grounding blend. The grounding blend can be applied right to the feet and will offer that similar support to what we would be used to as adults with balance. So again, getting that grounding and centering feeling that would be coming from that oil. And in that one, there's balance, as I talked about, amyris, balsam fir, coriander, and magnolia. I absolutely love the smell of Steady. It's so pretty. I love it. Rescuer, which is the kids' version of Deep Blue. So this is a great option for little ones who may be suffering from growing pains. And then the last one is Calmer, and that is really your lavender blend. This is one that is all about supporting that restful sleep. It's a great one to get into the routine of applying to the bottoms of their feet. And what I would say about this kids collection, if we're speaking to children specifically, it comes in this super cute little bag with little cards. It has the little toppers on it so they can clip it into their backpack. And it really is created so little ones can feel empowered to support their own body. So it's really about teaching our little ones what they can reach for, that they have access to, that's going to help to support their emotions, their physical health and wellness. You know, how are they feeling right now? Are they feeling anxious? They know they can reach for Brave. You know, as part of a bedtime routine, do they know that they can reach for Calmer? And that's part of their, you know, sort of rituals and habits and things. So it's a great way to just empower our little ones. And I know that it's a, you know, it's a very popular one with adults as well. If you are somebody who likes to, you know, likes the convenience of a roller bottle and you're looking for that higher dilution level, don't let the fact that it's called a kids collection throw you off. It's absolutely, you're absolutely able to use it as an adult for sure. Okay, so let's move on to our adolescents. So this is my real life, folks. This is my world with my adolescent teenagers, my house of teenagers. So the HD skincare collection is a great one for our adolescents. As we know, skin can be, you know, breakouts and acne and that kind of stuff can happen quite frequently. You know, their hormones are changing, and as they're balancing those hormones through their adolescent years, their skin is going to be changing as well. So there's a beautiful collection here for the skincare. And then adolescence is really where I would recommend introducing the Lifelong Vitality. I would recommend introducing it in a half dose. Our 17-year-old Jackson takes a half dose of this. So he takes it first thing in the morning with breakfast. And it's really foundational support. So as we've talked about with Lifelong Vitality, this is really about supporting our bodies from the inside out, as far as our vitamins, our minerals, our antioxidants, our omegas. It's all in there. And it's really helping to build that healthy habit now of supplementing and really, you know, taking care of our bodies at that early age. And then certainly with adolescents, the diffuser is a great way. You know, oils are excellent for mood support. I know that I use our diffuser all the time to kind of readjust the mood in our home. When we were going through online schooling, it was one of the things. I have a diffuser in each of the boys' rooms. And for Harrison, our 13-year-old, you know, he would be in the shower having breakfast in the morning, and I would go and fill up his diffuser, choose some uplifting oils, you know, oils that are going to support focus and concentration. And I would just start it and let it go. And you know, it was a great way to kind of support his emotions as we were going through that online school process. And then for our young women, Clary Calm is a beautiful blend. You know, as we know, young women, you know, from the ages probably of 12 and up are going through those phases where their hormones are kicking in, they're getting their periods for the first time, they're experiencing PMS and all of the wonders that come with being a woman. And, you know, supporting their hormones and really teaching them and providing them with the tools is a beautiful way. So Clary Calm is a beautiful oil that they can be using to support them, to help relieve some of those things that come up with PMS. And then certainly they can be rubbing it right on the abdomen or across the back of the neck as well. Okay. All right, moving into adulthood. So Lifelong Vitality, of course, you know, this is foundational, as I just talked about with adolescents. This is all about increased energy, mental clarity, decreasing inflammation. This is really, you know, the inside out approach to how we're going to support our bodies. And then Terrazyme, which we talked about from a pregnancy standpoint, but of course, through adulthood, Pterozyme is excellent as a digestive enzyme. So again, supporting that gut health. It's so important, when we think about health, we're often thinking about what we're eating, which is so important, exercise, all of those kind of things. But we also have to remember, to support a healthy immune system, we need to make sure that we're supporting a healthy gut biome. And part of that is, the supplements that we're taking, a digestive enzyme, things like that, as well as lemon. So adding lemon essential oil to your water, 2 to 3 drops in your water every day, whether that's in a stainless steel or a glass bottle of water that you're carrying around and drinking throughout the day, or whether that's in a mug of warm water first thing in the morning. That's my preference. I love to take lemon essential oil first thing in the morning, mug of warm water, a couple of drops, and I drink that first thing in the morning. It's an excellent support to your digestive system. Lemon has properties that are naturally cleansing, so really, really good for us. And then the glory years, which I don't know what else we could call it, ladies. I mean, I'm open to all the suggestions. I get all the feedback on this presentation because the word elderly is in here, the glory years are in here. I will take it all. But, getting back to fractionated coconut oil, it's so important for us to be diluting our essential oils as our skin is thinning and protecting, and then making sure that we're continuing to use our lifelong vitality to support our joints and our muscles, to improve our energy, and to protect and nourish the brain as we age. And then finally, the bone nutrient complex. The bone nutrient complex is a supplement out of the US warehouse. This is really about maintaining bone mass and density. It provides 100% of the daily recommended amounts of calcium and magnesium, and it also contains vitamin D2 and vitamin D3. So this is a great one to really protect our bones. As we age, we know that our bones can become brittle if we're not taking care of them. So let's just review the 3 ways that we can be using our essential oils at any age. So we can be using our essential oils aromatically, meaning we can be using them in our diffuser. So something like Citrus Bliss, which is such a beautiful, uplifting citrus blend, creates an environment that's uplifting. It's free from toxic fragrances. And, as we're talking about our children and we're talking about teenagers and adolescents, it's so important. You'll remember back to when we talked about toxin-free living last week. As women, we are exposed on a daily basis to over 100 toxins. And a lot of that is coming through our personal care products. It's coming through our cleaning products. And our children are equally being exposed to this, right? Whether they're little or adolescents, whatever we're bringing into our home, we're not only exposing ourselves, but we're exposing our children. So these are, essential oils are not only supportive, but they're helping you to remove those toxins, which is so important. Then we can be using our oils topically. So something like Motivate to really help to motivate you on a daily basis, or Adaptive, which is going to help to support those emotions, dealing with anxious feelings and things like that, can be very, very supportive. Reducing stress and increasing energy. Our oils are always a great way to use our essential oils. And some of the best places to use your essential oils: on your pulse points, so your wrists, behind your ears, along your neck, and then on the bottoms of your feet. Always remember, when you're starting out with essential oils, the bottoms of your feet are a great place to use your essential oils. Your feet have the largest pores on your body, and they're the least sensitive location. So if you or anybody you know is starting out new, that's a great place to use them. And then finally, internally. So again, getting back to using our oils in our water, making sure that we're drinking enough water, right? I'll remind you, 50% of your body weight every single day in ounces of water. That's how much we should be drinking. It's a ton, I know, but it is so good for you. And when you get onto that habit of drinking that much water, you will absolutely feel the difference. So citrus oils are my go-to. I love grapefruit. Grapefruit, lime, tangerine are shown here. Slim and Sassy is another one of my favorites, doTERRA's metabolic blend. But always make sure that if you are using your essential oils internally, that you're not using any more than 24 drops per day. And I will tell you, I use essential oils on the daily, and I don't come anywhere near using 24 drops in a single day. So that's a lot of oil that you would be using. So I guarantee you probably won't come anywhere near that. So, ladies, that is oils for every age. So I just want to pause for a second here. I'm going to see if I can stop sharing. Is that possible? Do we think I can stop sharing? Yes, I can. Okay, perfect. Okay, so before I move on to the next segment, because I am going to go through the joy of sharing oils, I just wanted to sort of put it out there. Does anybody have any questions or anything around anything that we've covered tonight with the joy of oils? Or with, I should say, oils for every age. Sorry. I'm like already thinking ahead. Oh, we've got questions. Let me check the chat. Okay, Leslie. Hi, Leslie. I'm so glad you could join us. Okay, why would you substitute fresh lemons or limes with this oil? Okay, so I wouldn't necessarily substitute. I would use both. So you're going to get different properties from the essential oil than you are from the juice. So the juice of the oil is going to give you your vitamins, like your vitamin C and things like that. The oil is going to give you the cleansing properties from the chemical constituents of the oil. So when I do a mug of water first thing in the morning, I actually use a slice of fresh lemon as well as my 2 drops of lemon essential oil. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, cool. Any other questions?
I do.
I got a comment real quickly, Stephanie, on that also is I have acid reflux real bad and I cannot use fresh lemons in my water because of the acid reflux, but because of our oil being made from the lemon peel, I can use the lemon oil that way and it not bother my acid reflux.
That's a great call out. That's a great call out. Love that. Love that. Awesome. Okay, any other questions?
I do, Stephanie.
Go ahead, Barbara.
On the Terrazyme, I've been taking the Vitality Pack, and with the Terrazyme and the PB Assist, I feel amazing. My fingernails have grown so strong, and I've only been on them just since January the 1st. But I have a question on the Terrazyme.
Yeah.
Should I take that after my meals or can I take it with it?
I would recommend you take it after. It's going to, your digestive enzyme is going to move through and it's going to help your body to eliminate anything it doesn't need. So the idea of the digestive enzyme is that you've taken in your food and your nutrients, you allow your body the time to absorb the nutrients that it needs, and then your body, and then the Terrazyme is actually going to help you to process and eliminate anything you don't need. So I would take it after your meal.
Well, since I've been on these vitamins, I'm on the toilet a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll clean you out. For sure it will. It'll clean you out, but that's good. Your gut system is cleaning itself out, which is really great.
Good. I feel terrific.
Go ahead, Peggy.
With the Vitality supplements, the Lifelong, does it interact with any medications or anything that you might be taking?
Yeah, there is a list of medications that we can refer against. I can send you that list if you want to take a look at it. For the most part, what I've heard is that it's a very limited amount, but we can certainly send it over so that you could cross-reference.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Okay. So I'm going to quickly take a photo. So, because you guys know I love a good photo, and then don't jump off because I'm gonna move on to sharing oils, but everybody smile. It's our Monday smile. Everybody loves it. And I had to take a picture because if I don't take a picture, Dee will call me out on it, right, Dee? Okay. All right. So if we were all together, ladies, here's what I would do. I would be, at this point, I would be saying to you, if we were all sitting in my house, which is where, we used to teach classes in the old days, right? Last year, circa 2019, right? Is when we used to come together. But what I would say is I would be bribing you at this point to stay with me and stay on. to enjoy some peppermint brownies that we make with our peppermint essential oil. But tonight I'm just going to ask you to stay on and to learn just a little bit. But as a reminder, as we move into the joy of sharing oils, I just want to remind you, always use your oils. That's why you bought them. Don't let them get dusty. If there is an oil in your collection that you're like, I don't know what to do with this thing. How did I end up with it? Why is it sitting in this box? I don't know why I bought it. Please reach out to myself or Tammy or Jess or Karen. We are happy to help you come up with reasons and ways where you can use those oils. Every oil has a benefit and a use, and we're happy to help you learn more about those oils. So let's jump into it, the joy of sharing oils. So typically in doTERRA, you know, the first benefit, obviously, that doTERRA offers everyone is these incredible essential oils, right? We're provided with these beautiful essential oils where we can live this amazing wellness lifestyle. We can level up. You know, we're focusing on our health and our wellness, and there's this incredible community. So that first and foremost are, you know, the benefits and the reasons why I came into essential oils, right? But typically we find there's three types of people. So there's people who want to live the wellness lifestyle. They love their oils, they want to use their oils, and this is really just, this is where they want to be. This is how where they're happy. Then there's others who want to share, right? They're loving their oils and maybe they're telling their friends. And I always think about sharing your oils as like, if you read a great book, you would tell your best friend about it, right? If you went to a good restaurant, you would tell your best friend about it. So if you're trying an essential oil and you're having great results, of course you're going to tell your best friend about it, right? It's just that simple. And so if you're sharing your oils frequently enough, you can be earning enough in doTERRA to get those oils paid for every month, which would be ideal, right? And then certainly there's the third type of people, and that's those who are looking to build and earn an income, right? They're looking to make a greater impact within their family and their personal life, or they're maybe looking to, you know, make a greater impact within their community. And so those are the individuals that might be looking to build and to earn an income with these essential oils, okay? So really kind of thinking about those three types of people. And I will say, just before I move on, people will move through these, right? It's not something that is, it's fluid, I guess. You know, people will move from just living the essential lifestyle to sharing, to building, and maybe back to sharing. And, you know, it's a very fluid process, and it can be whatever you choose it to be. It's kind of your choose your own adventure. So why doTERRA and why now? The reality is that the need for alternative income or a secondary stream of income has never been greater. I think as we moved through 2020, we all saw and experienced close to home, many of us, the impact of losing jobs, being in lockdown, being furloughed, you know, all of those kind of things. I will tell you, I came out of the retail industry, and the retail industry right now is, especially in Canada, is in a really tough state. We're seeing retailers all over the board that are closing stores and, you know, reducing their headcounts. Roles are being eliminated. Mine was a great example. I was eliminated in 20. My role was eliminated in 2020. And so many people are looking at, you know, what are the alternate opportunities to have that secondary stream of income. And, you know, doTERRA is thriving in an economy that is not, right? It's the most tested and trusted essential oil company in the world, and it's privately owned and debt-free. So I think that's also a big thing as you're looking at companies that you would want to align yourself with in a business. Knowing that this is a company that is debt-free is really important. And I think it's interesting. I come from a retail background, as I said, so this one was, you know, of key interest to me, but the growth rate of doTERRA was the same as Apple. So it took Apple 7 years to go to $1 billion. doTERRA was the exact same path. So it's hard to imagine. I mean, when we think about Apple, and everybody has an iPhone or an iPad or a MacBook or, you know, some sort of Apple technology in their home for the most part, you know, to think that doTERRA has had that same growth rate is absolutely incredible. And I will share with you that the network marketing industry, or the direct selling industry that doTERRA is a part of, is a $350 billion industry in North America right now. It is expected to be a $600 billion industry. So it will almost double in size in the next 3 to 5 years. So really that idea of network marketing and really purchasing products through people that you know, like, and trust is continuing to grow. And we also know that people are recognizing the need to take a greater responsibility for their health. At no other time in our history have people talked as much about taking control of their health and the importance of healthy habits and living that wellness lifestyle. So questions you may have as you consider whether you want to begin to share or build a business with doTERRA. How do I make money? That's always the first one. How much time is involved? Could this work for me? And what is the next step? So let's take a look at that. So how do I make money? This is a simple process with doTERRA. I'm not going to tell you it's easy. It does take work, but it is a simple and straightforward process. You sample, so you share your oils with other people. You talk to them about the oils. You teach other people how to use the oils. And the beautiful thing about teaching that has come up in our community this year, and I'm so grateful for it, is as a community, we actually have intro to oils classes and continuing education classes that are being taught every single week. So if you are somebody new starting out and you're just not comfortable with the idea of jumping online like I do and, teaching a class like this, and believe me, it's not hard. So don't overestimate what I do. But you literally, there are some people who are anxious about that. They don't want to get on and be teaching the class. You can just plug new customers into classes. So there are resources there for you. You enroll those new customers and then we support them. We love on them. We get them, signed up for continuing education. We plug them into resources and education so that our customers are always confident and have access to the knowledge and education that they need to use their oils safely and confidently. So income potential, this is kind of a crazy slide, but it kind of gives you an idea of what is the income potential for somebody who is considering building a business with doTERRA. So, in the first sort of couple of ranks here, you would see this is somebody who is putting in the time and is getting their product paid for. As we move up, this may be a business that is supplementing their income. A lot of women will come into network marketing and into doTERRA specifically to supplement their income. Maybe they're looking to pay for their kids' extracurriculars or an extra vacation every year. Maybe you got a passion for fashion like me and an addiction to shoes, whatever the issue is. Maybe you just want to supplement your income. And then eventually as you grow and you move on, there's opportunity, if you choose, for it to replace and to multiply your income, right? And that's where the beauty in this business is you can kind of choose where you want to be and how big of a business and how much time you want to put into it. And I would say, this is a beautiful business to be building alongside a full-time career. So if you're working full-time and you're thinking to yourself, like, I don't know that I have the time for this, trust that I understand. I was there when I started this business. I was working 60 hours a week. I was a regional manager. I was traveling across North America for my corporate job. And I was literally building my business in the pockets of time that I had in hotels and in airport lounges and, on the phone in between, driving between malls and things like that. So it's absolutely something you can do. And I recommend doing it that way because then you have your full-time role, you're building this part-time on the side, and over the next 3 to 5 years this could build to something where you're like, okay, is this something that I want to put more time in? Do I love where it's at? And you'll have more choices at that point. But how much time is involved? So ideally, if you're looking to have your oils paid for, you're probably looking at investing 3 to 5 hours a week. So I would say that's, less than working one shift part-time if you were to get a part-time job. If you're looking to supplement your income, you're probably looking at that 5 to 15 hours per week. And it's definitely probably closer to the 15 if I'm being, completely transparent in my experience. You're probably at that 15 hours a week. And again, it would be the same as taking on a part-time role. And then if you're looking to replace your income, that 15 to 30 hours, higher to the end of the 30 hours if you're looking to fully replace your income. So could this work for me? If you're sitting there and you're thinking, hey, you know what? I love my oils. I would love to have them paid for. I would love to learn more about how to share them. Really think about, are you passionate about your oils? Do you love people? Like, do you just love this ability to engage? I will tell you, through 2020, the opportunity to build this community and just to host these classes has been my absolute joy. It has been my connection to the world through the many quarantines that we have been through. So if you are in a position where you love to engage, this is a great way to do it. And then can you follow a system and get things done? You know, the beautiful thing about this business is that, and this community that we're in, is that we have incredible systems that offer support to help us get it done. So what would be the next step for anybody who is considering this? So the next step would be to, if you have a wholesale account, which everybody on here, I believe, has a wholesale account, would be just to upgrade your account and to set your LRP at 100 PV. The reason why we set our LRP at 100 PV is commissions are paid out once you have that 100 PV order. So I always think about it as the investment in your business. If you were going to be starting a small business, you would have a cost on a monthly basis. This is probably the lowest risk, lowest cost to owning your own business that you could get, would be that 100 PV order. And then reach out for help. Once you've upgraded your account to that wellness advocate, and it's very easy to do, so we can help you do that. It's free to do. Reach out, because we'll plug you into our training and our resources. Our oil community has a beautiful program that's called the Launch Program. Jess and Karen and I just went through it. It was an incredible experience. So many resources and information. It was amazing. But that's available as well. And then really start making your list. Who do you want to sample? Who do you want to share these oils with? Who in your network and in your community do you think could benefit from these essential oils? Start to make that list and start to think about who you would share those oils with. So then finally, just leaving with a quote, if you want to change the world, you have to empower people. That's the only way to make any permanent, effective change in the world. So it's kind of that idea of, you know, be the change that you seek. We hear that often, right? And as we seek to change the world, we have to be the change that we seek, right? Whether that's taking care of our own personal health or our own personal leadership, you know, it has to start with us. So I'm just gonna pause here and see if anybody has any questions. We good? If you do have any questions about, you know, sharing the oils, learning more about it, definitely reach out to the individual that invited you to these classes. We're happy to help support you and answer any of those questions you may have. And then I just see that in the links here, how long will the links for these classes remain available? Oh, so Leslie, I keep those links on YouTube permanently. So once we record a class, they're on my YouTube page. And I keep them, they're there. The playlist is there. So once you have access to it, all 8 classes will be there forever and ever at this point. I mean, one day I might update my YouTube, but right now those classes are available for as long as you need. So you can always go back to them. And they are sorted by the timing. So this group is the January continuing education classes. What else? Audie gave everyone a spray bottle of lavender last year as a gift. Did she fill it with water or fractionated coconut oil? So she did fill it with water. I know she's had to jump off, but she filled it with water, and I believe there was either witch hazel or alcohol in it, which we often will use in a room spray. You can use a little bit of witch hazel or just like a pure alcohol if you have it in the blend. So that's an easy mix to do. If you're using like a 10 mil, I don't think I have one near me, but if you're using like a 2 mil spray bottle, which I think, Leslie, those were 2 mil spray bottles, it's probably about 10 drops of essential oil and the rest of it water with just a little spritz of witch hazel or alcohol. Awesome. All right. Any questions, ladies? Anything I can answer for anybody? We're good. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for joining me, ladies. It's always great to see you on a Monday. I hope everybody had a beautiful day, and I hope you have a beautiful week. We're talking skincare next week, so I look forward to that one. It's going to be a good one.
That'll be good.
Okay.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Thank you, Stephanie.
You're so welcome. Have a great night, everybody. Take care. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.